Hello. Welcome back to another stream, Zinger Nation. My name is Ryan Rozbiani. I'm your host of the After Hours Show. We've got a lot of fantastic things to talk to you all about on this network. What a day of earnings. It's been a massive earnings week. Last week was big, and this week feels like it's even bigger, but not really. It's like the secondary tech stocks are coming in, but they're doing very well. We have to talk about them. Some of your favorites: Fubo, Coinbase, Unity, Upstart. We've got the whole kit and caboodle. We're going to talk all about them, and I'm here to talk with you. So this show has an interesting format. If you're familiar with it, welcome back. I see a few people in the chat. Richard, what's going on? If you're new to the show, let me introduce you to the format. Part one, we go over the indices: SPY, QQQ, IWM for our penny stock players, and Bitcoin for our crypto family. Part two, I jump into the hot stocks of the day. So obviously we're going to be talking Coinbase, Fubo, Upstart, Unity, a bunch more. I have them all written down. We're going to jump deep into them. Part three is my favorite part of the show. That's when I can do Q&A with you all. You put tickers into the chat. You put questions into the chat. I try my best to answer them, and we have fun together. This is a very interactive show, and the only thing we ask in return of you dropping your tickers into the chat is you hit the like button. And if you really like this show and you like the network, you smash the subscribe button so you can join our massive network of Benzinga shows that all are here to provide value to you, the retail traders and investors. Without further ado, let's jump into it right now with my favorite, SPY. So SPY, it's a parallel to the S&P 500. You've probably heard of it. SPY's up, SPY's down. No, it's not a SPY running around. It is the actual S&P 500 index. Very flat day. One thing that's very important that I want you to understand going into tomorrow. Tomorrow we have CPI coming out again, Consumer Price Index data. We've discussed this on this show many times, every time before, every time and after. Usually on Tuesdays when I stream, that's when the CPI data comes out in the mornings, and I talk about it during the day. So I have to cover it Thursday before going into the following week. This time they're doing it on Wednesday morning. So I'm telling you about it now, so you're prepared tomorrow. CPI can be a lagging negative catalyst. If CPI is bad, it could take 2 to 3 days after for SPY to take the hit, or it could take the hit the day of. Look into it. I have a video on it on my YouTube channel, linked in the description at ryanstocks.com. You'll be able to see it there if you want to watch that video and understand what CPI is, how it affects SPY, and how I'm playing it and protecting myself going into tomorrow. Part two, we got to look at actual SPY. Parallel to today, the markets were not looking forward to going into tomorrow. Not much confidence. Yes, we did hit another 52-week high on SPY. It seems like it's an every week thing now, but it did not want to do much. It was a flat day, 0.12% up, down 0.02% in the after hours. Not much movement, not much confidence in SPY. Very, very flat movement as we've seen here. A little leg up here this week, but not too much confidence. Let's go to QQQ next, parallel to our NASDAQ, our big tech stocks. I told you guys last week on the stream, I said NASDAQ is going, QQQ is going to 369, and we got there. Well, we got to a comically number for it, but we got there. Today, tech stocks are not very happy with the NASDAQ. The thing that tends to happen is if QQQ shoots up and if CPI is very bad, QQQ tends to take a hit because tech stocks are not liked by high inflationary numbers. Results in tapering, results in interest rates going up. Tech stocks, consumer discretionaries, healthcare stocks don't do too well with these kind of things. So next we'll go to IWM, which is your folks' favorite stocks. A lot of people in here love to play penny stocks. So obviously we take a look at this one. Again, flat day, nothing too crazy. But again, it's fighting to get back into this wedge. This has now become, this line used to be support. Now it's resistance, which is quite unfortunate. We were expecting a massive penny stock summer, and a lot of the penny stocks I've been watching and playing and giving to my Patreon members have been doing very well. Yesterday we had like a 55% runner, WORX. At the peak it was 55% up. If you want to join that, it's linked in the description at ryanstocks.com. You can definitely do that. And I'm an idiot because I should have gone like this and had you guys see the charts much clearer. I don't know why I did that, but that's okay. It happens. All right. Duke says, can you please add the link to your CPI explanation? Sure thing, Luke. Sure. Let me, I believe it's linked in the description already. If you go to ryanstocks.com, the very first tile on that website right here, if you click that, it'll take you to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe if you like, and then it's right here. It's the very first video on CPI. I don't know if I can put a link into the chat. It usually doesn't let me do that. I get like a weird error. So I don't want to mess up the chat flow and do that. So let's keep going. IWM flat, needs to jump back into here, but we hope to get there very soon. Last but certainly not least, before we jump into our favorite stocks, Let's talk Bitcoin. Bitcoin. A lot of our favorite Bitcoin stocks took a hit today. We'll talk about some of those after we cover the earning stocks. But if you look here, 46,800 was resistance. We got very well. 46,700 was resistance. We hit it. It was rejected fairly quickly. What's going on, Yogi? I see you in there. Ronnie, what's going on? Richard, how you doing? I see Tech Investor. I'll definitely make sure to cover that stock. So as you can see here, we hit resistance here, and now today was essentially a flat day. Well, it's almost a flat day. The way that looks like it. Weeble's candles are 20. It takes 24 hours for them to close it. So at midnight, the candle closes, and a new candle opens up. I know on Coinbase and other charts, they like to do it at 8 p.m. So, whatever. I mean, it's not really a big deal. It's a 24-hour moving thing. So I think it makes sense for it to move with the 24-hour cycle. But again, we're doing fairly well. We're still holding the 42 support area. You can see here it has had some low dips to 44.6 and negatively affected a lot of our favorite Bitcoin stocks. I will quickly touch on one of our favorite Bitcoin stocks, and then I'll move into our earnings because we've got a lot to talk about. But I want to touch on this because I know a lot of people will ask about it. A lot of people are curious about it. Here's Mara down 0.78% on the day and up 0.008%. Why? Bitcoin's down. A lot of people are like, the miners, this, that. No. It's literally because of Bitcoin. That's the only reason. That's the big thing that moves this is Bitcoin. CPI data could be also negatively affecting it as we're going into it. It is a tech stock at the end of the day. It is tech related at the end of the day. And that could be what's affecting it. So it took a hit. I don't know what. I think Riot was either flat or slightly red. No, Riot did good. Riot was up. I don't know why Riot was up and Mara was down, but I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Riot. We can also take a look at SOS. I know a lot of you folks love SOS. SOS was down 2.15%, up about almost 1% in the after hours as well. All right, let's quit wasting time. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about Coinbase first. Coinbase earnings are out. The stock does not know what to do. Let me show you. Coinbase, literally, when earnings came out, was up 4%, 4.5%, and then dropped, and then went up, and then dropped. Like, it literally doesn't know what to do. I can show you here on the 1 minute chart. It has no freaking idea. Look, it went up and then came back down. Like, literally, look at this. It makes no sense. If we go to like a 5 minute chart, it is like horrendous to look at. It's like, what the heck are we looking at? Like, it doesn't even know what to do. We'll see how it opens up. We'll see how it goes. I know there's a phone call at 5:30 in the morning. Excuse me, 5:30 this afternoon. Why did I say 5:30 in the morning? I think that's probably why it feels like I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. What's going on, Jeff? Welcome to the chat, buddy. So we'll have to see how Coinbase plays out. But let's dive deep into their earnings. I got their earnings, webcast, shareholder letter. All this stuff is here, but we're going to look at the shareholder letter. That's where all the important stuff is, essentially their PowerPoint of what's going on, what's going down with Coinbase. This is one of the big things here. And I hope, yep, I can see that's coming through clearly. You can see their monthly transacting users has gone up to 8.8 million. M is million. Their trading volume went up to $462 billion, and their assets on platform is down to 180 billion. Their net revenue, very key metric. Everyone was like, revenue is going to come down, net income is going to come down, transactions are going to come down, Bitcoin's tanking. That's not true. The more volatile crypto and Bitcoin is, the more volatile, the more transactions occur on it. I discussed it in my Bitcoin video on my YouTube channel. I literally told people, I said, hey, Bitcoin, I did it in this video right here. Okay, it only goes up to a certain amount, but I put it out. I was like, Wall Street is wrong about the stock. They're wrong. And I still stand by it. They're wrong. They were 100% wrong. And the proof is finally here. I can finally confirm that I was correct. And as you can see here, net revenue went up to 2.033 million, which is essentially 2 billion. That was net revenue. Net income is up to 1.6 billion, and adjusted EBITDA is up to 1.15 billion. So they did very well when it comes to that. I'm only going to touch on the key things, which is usually in chart format, so I don't spend too much time on one thing. I know Fubo is a big one that everyone wants to jump into. I haven't taken a look at Fubo too much in depth of their numbers yet. I wanted to save it for the stream, obviously, so we're going to definitely take a look at that one for sure. As you can see, retail volume went up from 120 to 145 billion dollars in transactions, believe it or not, billion. Institutional also went up, which is very interesting, from 215 to 317 billion, and total to 462. So if you add those two, obviously it's 462. The trading volume is very interesting here. Take a look at these numbers. The top line is Bitcoin, the second line is Ethereum, and the third line is other. If you look at it, Bitcoin's trading volume significantly dropped, whereas Ethereum's went up. and other crypto assets went up. What are other crypto assets that Coinbase has on their website? Let's take a look at it. There's a little one known by Doge, which was recently added, and a lot of people love the Dogecoin. People love Doge. We can take a look at it. We have to go to Tradable. There's a lot of stuff on their platform that isn't tradable, that they just show you the prices, but some are. As you can see here, they've got Doge, Cardano. These are two hot ones. Cardano is ripping, man. I'm so happy. I added this one. I alerted it to the Patreon members. I added it at $1.05, $1.10, and I'm very happy with that ad. It's doing very, very well. Dogecoin is doing its thing. Dogecoin it looks like it's having a lot of trouble getting over that 25 cent area. Now, I guess, look, hey, genius, it's at 0.26, but it hasn't been moving with the velocity essentially that it should with the other cryptos, the way that Bitcoin picked up, the way that Ethereum massively picked up. It hasn't been following that movement, but that's okay. Litecoin, not one of the bigger ones, but I'm just trying to like hit on the big ones that you hear a lot about in the ethos of like AMP is a bigger one that everyone's talking about. Hey, AMP, buy AMP. You see a lot of bots about AMP. Algorand, another one. XRP, I'm sorry, not XRP, XLM, another big one. Matic, another fascinatingly large one. As you can see here, the other quote unquote altcoins, if you're not counting Ethereum as an altcoin, picked up tremendously in volume of trading within the platform. So it's no longer just Bitcoin dominating, everything else being secondary. The other crypto assets have become the big dominant player. And they were obviously dominant because in volume, there's way more of them than Bitcoin. And they've always tended to kind of tower over Bitcoin, at least since Q3 of 2020 here, right? Because they're adding more and more assets. I think it's monthly now. They add way more. But that's very interesting to keep an eye on it. The whole DeFi space, the whole altcoin space, it's big and it's happening. Assets on platform have decreased, which is interesting. I have to come back and read on that one. That's very interesting to see what happened there. Maybe because they're sold to institutional, or institutional moved it to cold storage, or however that happened, or moved it to another platform for staking, whatever it is. We will definitely have to see how that plays out. But that's weird. But we'll see. Assets on platform based on percentage. Bitcoin's still the largest one, followed by Ethereum, other cryptos, and then they have fiat. Fiat is cash. So if you've got cash deposited into your Coinbase account, that's what they're counting. Let's take a look at here. Transactional revenue. I think we discussed it up top a little bit here, but transactional revenue is up for retail as well as institutional. Custodial fee revenue is up. Blockchain revenue is up. Earned campaign revenue is up. Interest income is up, and other subscription-based revenues are up. So all these are up. Everyone talking about, oh no, these things are coming down. The transactional revenue is going to tank because of Coinbase dropping in price. That's not true. Take a look at it right here. This is proof in the pudding. It went up. It went up in a very well amount that was expected, both on the retail side and on the institutional side. And I don't think this trend is slowing down. Even though, one thing to point out, there's a key takeaway thing. Okay, we'll jump into that article next in a second. So I'll minimize that. This is the big thing that's happening. This is the one headline that I think that's kind of hurting Coinbase the most, is that it says that Coinbase says the company sees trading volume Q3 to be lower compared to Q2. I don't believe that. I think we are entering into another bull run for crypto. So that's a bit unfortunate for them to say that, which is what's negatively affecting the price action right now, because it literally spiked up. It was spiked up throughout all that. So we have an article here that probably will kind of get us some of the key points in there. So we can see net income. We discussed that. Coinbase trading volume is up. We discussed that. So second quarter revenue is 2.03 billion, which beat the street's estimate of 1.77 billion. Fantastic. They also beat EPS by $3 and something. It was right here. This article is significantly less important than I thought it would be. The company has said the top 10% of the largest hedge funds the company said 10% of the top 100 largest hedge funds by assets under management have onboarded with Coinbase. This is huge. This is huge because this is showing that more of these hedges and the hedge funds are coming on board into crypto, and they're working with Coinbase, so that institutional transaction volume and the institutional transaction revenue will go up. So in the recent months, we formed partnership with industry leaders including Elon Musk, PNC Bank, SpaceX, Tesla, Third Point, LLV, Wisdom Tree Investing, according to the company. That's huge, guys. Come on, you've got to be kidding me. Like, all of the FUD and craziness that Elon started, and now he's a partner with Coinbase. I'm not even going to comment on that. Coinbase obtained a license in Germany for trading and is the first company to be issued a license in this particular license in Germany, which is huge. So that we're going to get some global numbers coming in as well. Coinbase added 29 assets for trading and 39 new assets for custody in the first 6 months of 2021. The platform now supports 83 assets. Those are essentially the altcoins with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything else, and 142 for custody. So you can kind of hold them on the platform. You can't trade them. Like, for example, if you had XRP, you can keep it on Coinbase. You can't buy more of it, but you can sell it. Like if you're in New York, at least for me, that's what they said to me. So the company's also launched in their second quarter their Visa credit card, essentially, which was you were able to spend 70 million merchants with this Visa card using cryptocurrency, which is big. Shares are down in after hours. Obviously, we can see that. It is a heartbreaker to see that, but it is what it is. Let it play out. Wall Street has no idea what they're doing with this stock and company, which means it gives me more time to buy cheap comments. So I'm going to quickly scroll through here. Anything else that's important? Transaction expenses are up. That's what happens when you add more kind of more coins and more new things that you're added. Sales and marketing, they're doing more marketing. That's obvious. You can see more ads. Technology department went up. That's okay. General administrative is up. Other operating expenses are up. Full-time employees, they've actually increased and onboarded a lot of full-time employees, which is fantastic to hear. Job creation, shareholder letter outlook. So here, this is very important. This is the key takeaway. This is the most important thing. Let's jump into this one. It is important for investors to remember that our business is inherently unpredictable. MTUs, trading volume, and therefore transaction revenue can fluctuate potentially materially with crypto asset prices and crypto asset volatility. As a result, revenue is difficult to forecast. However, we assess and plan for a wide range of outcomes regarding future performance, which we share below. Q3 in July, retail MTU and total trading volume were 6.3 million and $57 billion respectively, as crypto asset prices and crypto asset volatility declined significantly relative to Q2 levels. August month to month, retail MTUs and trading volumes have slightly improved compared to July levels, but remain lower than earlier in the year. As a result, we believe MTUs and trading volume in Q3 will be lower compared to Q2. I don't believe that. I don't think you have enough data in August to be able to completely kind of jump into there and kind of understand it. Chris, what's going on? I see you in the chat, man. Yeah, that was actually a very interesting article. I clicked it in the beginning. I was like, I'm looking for more information that I don't have. And I was like, man, it's not there. Then I look at the second and third paragraph. I'm like, oh no, this article's kick ass. So shout out to whoever wrote that article. Part of me thinks it was Chris. I'm going to double check on that. Hold on. Let's jump into it. Who wrote this article? Okay, let's see. BZ Wire. Does it say? It doesn't say who wrote it. That's unfortunate. I wanted to give credit to whoever wrote it. So we can see full year 2021. We are updating our full year 2021 MTU scenarios to reflect our year to date. Okay, so here, cool. They give us a bear case, a bull case, a bear case, and a base case, which is very important for these kind of things. You want all three in order to kind of fluctuate. I usually go with the mid case, which is kind of like your base case, essentially thing. So they're saying an average of 8 million MTUs for at the higher point, an average of 7 for the midpoint, and an average of 5.5 for the low point. This scenario assumes a decline in crypto asset capitalization from current levels. In the scenarios, MTUs will decrease in a corresponding manner, and 2021 is similar to Q4 of 2020. So cryptos and all these things tend to kind of decline and cool off towards the end of the year. I think everyone was expecting that to happen. And it happened much quicker it kind of essentially during the spring/summer. So I think we will kind of run into it. And I think next spring will be when we cool off again. But we'll have to see how that plays out. Net average revenue per user is between $34 to $45 a month. Institutional revenue, we were expecting a meaningful growth in the 2021 driven by transaction custody revenue based on increasing volumes of institutional onboarding. So we said this already, institutions will grow. Expenses will obviously go up. That's there. We anticipate a full year 2021 effective tax to remain negative, primarily due to the tax deductions on stock-based compensation for our full-time employees. There you go. Taxes, they'll be fine too. So you don't have to worry about taxing, and then they'll be okay. So I'm trying to, it'd be nice if we got like, hey, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay, cool. So Q2 and then essentially December's numbers. I'm assuming this is their it can't be their Q1 numbers because this is December 2020. So this is essentially FY. I would imagine this. No, it can't be FY. This is Q4 and they're giving us Q2. I guess they never officially released I know they officially released Q1, but I don't know why they wouldn't put that here. This might be a better thing to look at. So there's 6 months ending and they're 3 months. So this is last quarter and this is this quarter essentially. I'm assuming 3 months ending June 30. No, this is year over year. So this is last year and this year. So if we're looking year over year, massively grown, obviously. They didn't even report EPS, but EPS savagely destroyed. And like, people do not understand how difficult this business is that they're in, and they're savagely destroying. And one day we'll wake up and this will be a massive stock. I'm not just saying that because I have it. I frankly don't care if people buy it or sell it. Like, you can do you. Price action clearly doesn't reflect it, and the float is lowish. But again, I still think that people are severely underestimating the value that this company has and what they're doing in this space, getting these licenses. I don't get it. Chris says it was me. I don't think it says it in the pro feed. Thanks, Ryan. Shout out to Chris for that fantastic article, by the way. This was Chris's article. He summed up everything for me in a nice little article. Shout out to Chris. Make sure you guys, if he tweets, go to his Twitter. Make sure to retweet that article to give him some love, show him some love. My pleasure, Chris. We got 2 Chris's in the chat now. All right. We did Coinbase. Let's go to Fubo. Let's get it. Let's go to Fubo. I hope they have a shareholder letter parallel to this. I'm going to go to their website, FuboTV. As you guys probably know, FuboTV works with Vizio as well. They've got a great partnership. That one's running in parallel. You guys know this fella right here. You guys, I believe you guys are aware of him. If you know Fubo, you got to know that these guys are big soccer guys, right? Let's go to the investors. Again, that's essentially, if you're doing DD, I just showed you how to go to an investor page. Let's go to events and presentations. Q2 live video webinar. Okay, so I don't want to jump into that. That starts later. I want to see their earnings presentation. There we go. This is what we wanted. This is the juice. Let's take a look at this. We can close that. Fubo, very, very quickly, we can see here that EPS beat by 0.11, and they beat on revenue. They increased their guidance from 520 to 530 to 560 to 570 versus the estimated 530. Hence why you have such a massive jump. Once you increase guidance, you get a nice little woof into the stock, and it moves it. And we had some calls to buy some option calls in the Discord for Fubo. So those will 99.99% print tomorrow, probably over 100%. If you want to join the Discord, ryanstocks.com, hit the second tile. You'll be able to join via Patreon. And then when you join Patreon, it will connect you to our Discord, and you'll be a part of there. You'll see all the calls, all the scalp plays, all the cool stuff we have there, and you can make money with us and learn. That's the most important thing, is we want you to learn while you're in there. Q3 sales, they see that they're giving guidance on sales of 140 to 144, estimate of 126.9. Fantastic. Form S, offering of securities. What the heck is that? Okay, I'll look into that later. I'll jump into that. Okay, so it looks like they filed an amended S3 filing for 750 million mix. So this is a shelf offering. It's not into effect right now. Before it for 623,000 common shares. A shelf offering is not into effect until it goes into effect. So it's not an offering. Don't freak out. It's not an offering. It's a shelf offering. It's going to be sitting there. Again, I have no horse in this fight. I'm not holding comments. I'm not holding calls. I'm not holding puts. Nothing. I'm just reading you what's on the screen. Okay. Q2 sales. There it is. That's what I was looking for. They beat 130 million, beat the 118 estimate, which is a 281% year-over-year increase. Let's jump into the presentation. Only 14 slides. Disclaimer. Let's take a look at it. Q1, they increased their sequential subscribers by 92,000. That's fantastic. But their sequential subscribers and net adds, hold on. What are we doing here? 2Q. So I'm guessing that's Q2 2021. Sequential subscribers and net adds were up if we're comparing Q1 to Q2. But if we're comparing Q1 of 2020, so quarter over quarter, we're up 92,000. Year over year, we're down 1,000. That's a warning sign to me. That means you've lost 1,000. It's like, all right, let's keep going. So keep that in the back of your head. That's interesting. Year over year, they lost 1,000 sequential subscribers and net adds. So that's interesting. I know soccer is very seasonal, but essentially it's on all the time. And it's not just soccer. They do a bunch of other stuff there. So we'll have to see. Okay, so advertising revenue was up significantly. That's a lot of spending, up 281%. Advertising ARPU was up 62%. Okay, so spending has gone up, obviously. But that's okay. ARPU over 30%. Contribution margin expansion. Adjusted contribution margin is up. They were negative 4.6 margin in Q2 of 2019. Q2 of 2020, they were up 5.1%. And then Q2 of 2021, they're up to 8.3%. That's 316 basis points. So that's technically 3.16 up, 3.16% up. So that's good. Okay. Expenses as percentage of revenue. This is a lot. I'm not going to break this down. You can come back to that one later. They've got a lot of expenses, but that's okay. Everyone does. Who doesn't have expenses? You and I have expenses too. Let's take a look at their losses. They're technically not profitable yet, if I'm understanding this correctly. Their net loss in millions. They're losing a lot of money, but it looks like their margin's getting better. So they're spending more money, but their margins are getting better. So that's okay. That's an improvement in terms of margin, but I'd like them to spend less money. Maybe you don't have to spend that much money in advertising. Maybe you can get a strategic partner that helps you out with these kind of things. Adjusted EBITDA is okay. Wow. All right. So it's down. Adjusted EBITDA is down, but again, adjusted EBITDA margin is up. So that's a good thing. It's bad, but it's a bad thing that this is going lower, but it's a good thing, right? So I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat talking about ADA, which is interesting. I was expecting more Fubo people, but let me give this a quick retweet to this thing, to this live. Boom. All right, cool. Let's keep going. So there you've got their numbers here. That's good. I want to get to a kind of a balance sheet, an income statement. That's what I'm kind of really looking for. Which here we go. All right. Pro forma combined subscription revenue is okay. We're doing this for a second. So damn, they lost a lot, but no, it's going up. Some people go from old to new. Some people go from new to old. So I just wanted to make sure I'm on the right side of this. Someone says, "Nice. I'm still hawking bags." I'm not. I don't know where. Okay, so I get. So you added it. We'll go over the chart next too. I'll pull up the chart and we'll jump into the chart after we finish it. But it's doing very well. We'll take a look at it on the daily. We'll find resistance support levels. Subscription revenue is up. Prior period subscriber deferred revenue is up as well. So it looks like they have. I guess they're counting these. I mean, these might be trial subscribers, people who've signed up for trials and committed to pay, or there's something in there. I'm not sure how. I've never used the service. Someone says, "Yeah, listen to Chris. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to Chris. He's the man." You've got your average subscribers are going up, which is good. Months and period are 3. That's good. So that's your kind of, I guess that's your average amount of time people are staying as a subscriber. That's good. 3 months is fine. Again, soccer seasonal. You might only want to watch a certain part of it and you want to come back to it later. That's okay. ADA. Okay, so you guys are talking about ADA a lot. We'll talk about ADA too, I promise. Non-GAAP financial measures, reconciliation continue. Why can't I speak today? Okay, all right. Net loss. Let's take a look. So losses are going up, but margins are getting better, which is a good thing. We discussed that earlier. The margin is getting better, but losses are still going up because they're spending money. You have to. They're still a new company that's IPO. They need to make money, but they need to advertise to let you know that they even exist. They need to know that you even exist. That's the most important. It looks like we ran out of slides, and that's okay. Fubo, long story short, let's jump into the chart so we can figure out what is the game plan for Fubo. How has Fubo been doing? So clearly, Fubo is a very interesting story here. I don't know why I'm seeing. Let me go to a weekly chart. Yes, this is 1000% wrong. So I'm going to go to the daily chart here on Fubo. I'm going to go to a kind of a 1 year interval. So when I first added Fubo, personally, it was like around the $9-10 area. I'm not sure when it was. I don't want to lie to you, but I sold on the way up. I'm not in it anymore, but I wanted to kind of take a look at it. So if you add it up here, this was a momentum movement that happened. And then this was kind of your post, kind of like your New Year rise. A lot of stocks had, and then they declined into kind of May. And then in May, a lot of stocks started to pick up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it at a much shorter time frame, from essentially kind of like an almost 3-month time frame. I'm going to analyze it that way. And then we will figure out what the story is here with the stock. What's the game plan? Where are we going next? So as you can look here, the stock was clearly ripping. It ripped up into an upward trajectory, hit the 35.09 area and acted as resistance. And 35.09, if you look here, $34, $35 area is a past resistance for this stock. You can see that like on this wick right here, went to 35.50, rejected it, went to this wick here, 34.72, rejected it. So the $35 area is resistance. So it ran up, hit it, and it came down. The good thing is it did not break the 50% Fibonacci level. Had we broken the 50% Fibonacci level, we'd be entering again into a downward trend. We didn't. So if we were to kind of map something from here to here, if I were to show you, just so I can give you an example of how this could work, is and I usually cut out outlier candles for like momentum movements because they really don't help you in analysis, because they're a one-time thing and it's very rare for them to repeat. But okay, now this is getting very buggy on me. All right, I'm just going to leave it there. But if you look here, you broke the 50% Fibonacci level here and you went into a downtrend and then it bounced on a support level. So let me just get rid of this. We can focus on back to our time frame. That was just a tiny quick micro lesson on Fibonacci levels. And it's been kind of essentially trading sideways since July 14th. It's just been trading sideways. And recently, the past 3 trading days, it decided to pick up some momentum. And as you can see here, tomorrow, we're going to be opening up and gapping up, if all things hold, somewhere in this $31, $32 area, which is going to be very, very interesting. So let's go to something like a 1 hour chart so we can actually see this movement and see this parallel. Let me go to a 2 hour so we get less less kind of lines and stuff. I'm going to turn off VWAP. We don't need it right now. I'm leaving extended hours here. But if you look here, we'll probably be opening up somewhere here tomorrow. As you can look and see here, we're hitting this resistance point here at the high of 32.87, which is where it kind of looks like it's the $32 area, $33 area is resistance for this stock. We can look here at 32.74 was where it hit and resisted again. Remember, a lot of algorithms trade stocks. They know prior resistance levels. They tend to, after you break 1 or 2 resistance levels, it's like, we got to get out. We don't want to be a part of this. And then boom, they exit. And that's okay. The stock is still killing it. It's up 9% in after hours. So Fubo doing very well. Your support is here at 24.50. Your resistance is here at 32.70 something. 32, was it 75? 32.70. What was the prior one? 32, essentially 32.70, 32.80 is your kind of your resistance between that area. And you have room to go to 35 if momentum continues tomorrow. And this is a momentum stock, as we've seen in the past. It's a low float stock. It's not a low float by definition, but a lower float stock than your traditional stocks that people like to talk about. So this could pick up momentum and could keep going, or it could retrace. You can retrace and trade sideways for a little bit. You can get a little bit of red and then it bounces back up. But I do see this retracing back to the $35 area eventually. It is a very good company. It's a very good stock. It just needs to figure out how to mitigate spending. I think a strategic partner, as they did with Vizio, was fantastic. Excuse me. That helps them kind of get to where they need to. Directly built into TV screens, ready to go. Fantastic strategic partner. And we'll say it. I'll talk about Cardano. I promise I'll talk about Cardano. A lot of people love Cardano. Smash the like button if you like Cardano. I'm kind of like, man, I should not have mentioned Cardano earlier in the thing, because the chat is all Cardano. There's no Fubo. There's none of this. No one's talking about anything else. It's just literally straight up Cardano. Fred, what's going on? We discussed Mara earlier in the stream. If you want to rewind a little bit, yeah, you can catch that discussion. I see your question about Mara. ADA, oh, come on. I keep the first part of the chat was like blocked off, so I'm clicking. I'm like, what are these guys? All right, so I see Christopher's giving us our play-by-play on ADA in the chat. We're talking about ADA because it started to run today. Yeah, I completely get it, man. I love I'm heavy in ADA with you guys, so I'm excited. But I want to talk about these 3 earnings, and I'll go into ADA. I promise. If you guys like the chat, I promise. Like the video, I promise to jump into ADA. I told you I'm early. I got earlier into ADA when everything was falling, so we'll see it. Okay, so I do want to take a look at this shelf offering. Just keep that in the back of your head. This is when you'll probably see the stock cool off. This is a lot of shares. Shelf offerings don't all hit at the same time, obviously. Fred, I do not I do not, Fred. That is a lie. That is a copycat on Twitter. Decided to make a copycat profile of me, and I get people liked the upgraded version of me for some reason, but I don't know. I like the version of me as is. But this will create opportunities for you to get into the stock if you want to buy and hold long term. So clearly, this will not all hit at once. Shelf offerings happen in chunks. If it hits at once, that would be quite unfortunate. But even then, 600,000 shares, what would that do to the float? You're at what, 111 million? You go to 112 million and a half, 112, max 113. It's not even a big offering. So even if they did it all at once, you wouldn't even feel it. It'd be literally like a blip and then bloop. So it'd be nice, literally be a perfect opportunity to get in. That would be a play that I would do. If I see them file that offering go into effect, which I'll show you how you can set up notifications to get that. So you go to SEC/Ticker, Ticker. Tigger's from Winnie the Pooh. If you go to sec.report/ticker/Fubo, you put that in, you come down here, you hit the little notification bell. I'm going to go off screen because I don't want to show my email on the screen, but if you hit that, you can enter your email into there. So I'm going to enter my email. I just don't want that on the screen right now. And you can hit subscribe. And then it gives you kind of it subscribes you, and you're going to get notifications on them. So I just want to make sure my thing is not on the screen. Okay, so let me just double check. Email notifications are on. Okay, perfect. So again, and you can come back and double check. You can click this button and it will say email notifications are on, and you'll be good to go. So easy way of knowing that. This is the S3. They amended it. If you want to know what that filing will look like, it'll be a notice of effectiveness. And here it will say, it won't say post amendment, it will say S3, and that'll be saying the S3 is going into effect. And following that, you'll probably see an 8K that'll tell you how much of the S3 is going into effect, at what price. If it's at the market, if it's at a certain price, you'll get that information in the follow-up offerings. Last stock I want to cover before we jump into your Q&A and jump into Cardano, which I had no idea was running today, is Unity. Unity is the third and final stock we'll talk about today in this portion, and they did very good on earnings. They did good. They beat earnings per share negative 0.02 versus their estimate of negative 0.13. Sales beat sales guidance to 1.045 to 1.06 from the 1.01 estimate. So they raised guidance. Unity shares are trading higher after the company. Well, they're not. I guess this is a little late, but there's a conference call in progress, so something might have happened during that conference call. Let's take a look at the chart. By the way, if you'd like to learn how to do this technical analysis, if you'd like to learn and be a part of my trading community via our private Discord to learn how to trade stocks, options, be alerted on stocks ads, options ads, crypto ads like Cardano that I told you I alerted at 125, alerted at 105, 110, all of these, you can join. You can go to ryanstocks.com. and you can hit the second tile right here. You go to ryanstocks.com, you hit the second tile, and you can sign up for the Patreon. There's many different perks in there. It's fantastic for new traders and experienced traders. We have a really fantastic team that's literally growing that will be at our throwing calls out there. Like we had a Fubo call in there. It's going to be running 110% tomorrow morning. So if you got in and you're in the Patreon, congratulations. That will do well. I threw out a lotto call on Coin. It's probably not going to do that great, but we've had a lot of fantastic calls going throughout the week. Lotto calls, literally, by the way, for those of you who aren't familiar with options, lotto calls are literally you buy them with the expectation for it to go to zero. It's literally like you're playing the lotto. It's a scratcher. So those are lotto calls. And then some other lotto calls you could do very, very well. And like I was playing spy puts, and I was like, all right, let's do some spy puts scalping. Did play it for 2 rounds, did pretty well. Did I think 12.5% and 4.5%, something like that. But it was a lot of fun. Reese, I see your question about gold. I will definitely touch on that for sure. only the best Benzinga traders hang guitars from their walls. I got 2, and I got one right here that no one can see, but thank you. I appreciate that, Christopher. That means a lot coming from you. Solar up, get wall mounts. You will save so much space on your guitars by putting them on walls. These things take up so much space in closets because you have to get like those padded cases and make sure they don't slam into each other. But if you mount them on a wall, like they're literally just hanging there, they look cool. They're like aesthetically pleasing, and they take up so much less space. So if you want to join the Patreon, it's right here. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you want to sign up for a Benzinga Pro trial, 100% for free for 2 weeks, you can do that through my link here. It helps me out. I get a little bump. And if you want to sign up for the full service, you can get 30% off for life using promo code RyanR. Promo code RyanR gets you 30% off for life if you decide to sign up. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, that would be cool too. We're very close to 14,000 followers. I think it's 5 away. So if we want to do that, we're 5 followers away from 14,000. So if you guys want to light that up, it would mean a lot. And the YouTube channel has a lot of different stuff. CPI data is coming out tomorrow. It's very, very important. I have a video on it on my YouTube channel. If you look here, right here on my YouTube channel, video right here covering CPI data and how it will affect the markets. What is CPI data? You need to do it. You need to watch that video in order to be prepared for tomorrow, or you're going to get caught flat-faced. Listen to Paulina. Also smash the like button. So we asked you for a lot of things. Don't worry. I'm going to provide you with value on everything in just 2 seconds. Unity. Let's take a look at what the stock is doing. It was up. Last I looked, it was up in after hours. And it looks like the conference call started and they said, nope. Okay, so I'm glad. I'm not glad that the stock is down. I'm glad I didn't take a lotto on it. I wanted to play a lotto on it. But now tomorrow I can play puts on it. That's the beautiful thing about it. Is like you broke a support level. It's bouncing. It wants to get over that support level, but there's no volume. But this is a significant drop. Let me see something like a 15-minute candle. Look at that. Yeah, and even still there, it's not a lot of volume. And after hours, you never have enough volume. So we'll have to see how it opens up tomorrow going into the open. So we'll definitely have to do it. Listen to Richard. Benzinga Pro will help you a lot with your trading life. It has helped me out. That's how I'm getting all these news out, tweeting it out. Especially if you're a penny stock trader and you need news fast, you can set up watch lists to connect to your news feed, and it will give you news just on those watch lists. So it's very, very interesting. Appreciate you, Mr. I apologize, bro. I don't know how to say your last name. Mr. I appreciate you, Mr. All right, so Unity's not having a great time. We're not going to dive too deep into it. Let's go to Cardano. I promised you all I would talk about Cardano. Let's do it. ADA USA. ADA USD, excuse me. Not USA. Maybe it'll become ADA USA if the Fed goes, hey, we're going to make Cardano the global. Wow. Holy crap. Wow, that's awesome. So I missed this ad here when this was happening. So I added here at 1.2. That was my first ad in Cardano because I was reading about it. I wanted Cardano. I liked the tech behind Cardano. And Cardano, by the way, was lagging Ethereum and lagging Bitcoin during this whole new run, the second bull run of the year, right? It was lagging. Then we had the FUD, the China FUD. You had the kind of the Bitcoin miner FUD. You had a lot of FUD coming in. And okay, so we have a spammer in the chat. Let's put this guy on timeout. All right, beautiful. And I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to get it. And so I bought at 105, and I think I bought at 110, 105. I didn't get it at 1. I knew that. I bought at 105 and 110, I believe. Those are the 3 ads. The 105 and 110 were the massive ads where I'd taken this time period here essentially to study up more. And I was like, I like Cardano. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to buy Cardano, and that's what I did. And it's not easy holding an asset that trades sideways. It's not easy holding an asset that trades red, right? And mentally, you will be affected. Psychologically, it's not fun to do that. Just turn my fan on. I hope that doesn't create too much noise. But I had to. It was like I liked this. I built a lot of kind of, what do you want to say? What's the word for it? I built a lot of confidence in it. There's a word for that. What's the word? Whatever. Conviction. That's the word. So I built a lot of conviction for the play for myself in my head. Now, this is not a full chart on Cardano. So let me go to TradeView so that way we can get a full chart on Cardano. This only gives you Cardon. Okay, great, Ryan. You cannot spell to save your life, but that's okay. That's what spell check's for, and that's what your Grammarly subscription pays for. So let's jump into Cardano, ADA USD. I don't want the Kraken one. I'll take the Coinbase one. Why not? We got Coinbase earnings. Let's help out our Coinbase brethren and jump into ADA. You know what? Let me send out a quick tweet to get our Cardano family in here. We only have 15 minutes left. Let's do it. Talking Cardano ADA now. All right. Let's see if that gets some people into. Oh, there we go. 200 viewers. If you guys got Cardano fans, I want you to just pull them on over into the chat because you guys wanted me to do this, and I'm doing this for you. All right. I'm going to keep my exponential moving average. I like my Bollinger Bands. I don't need my volume rows. But let's take a look at it. Are we in the daily? Yes, we are. Okay, cool. So again, it looks like, all right, it looks like the Coinbase chart is the same freaking chart that we have in the other one. So let me try Kraken. As Kraken gives me a much better history. So if you look at Kraken's chart, essentially the Cardano chart, all the prices are 99% similar. This was a very, very sub $1. This was like a Doge equivalent, right? It was a sub $1 asset. It ripped up to about 212, I believe, is the highest the thing went. High of 246. Excuse me. Why are there so many decimal places? We don't need them. It ripped, then it cooled off and calmed down, came down to a low of 95 cents. I wish I had bought that, but that's okay. It came down to a low of $1, literally. But if you had a limit order in for $1, it would not have hit because there is a decimal place, that final decimal place here. If you look at it, keep an eye on it, it is a 4. So your limit order for $1, most platforms will not have filled you for that order. So definitely keep that in mind. And I liked it. I said, screw it, I'm going to buy some. So let's take a look at this. I want to find the next resistance levels on this. So we've essentially, our moving averages aren't going to help us. Our EMAs aren't going to help us here. We've ripped through all of them. So I'm going to turn it off. Bollinger Band, we've ripped through the top band. I'm going to turn it off right now. We don't need it. And we're just going to look at a raw chart. I do want Fibonacci levels, though. If you guys know me, you know I'm a sucker for the Fibonaccis. So we're going to fire up the Fibs, and we're going to jump into the Fibonaccis. Fibonacci retracement. Give me the top. And so where's the low point? We're right there, 104. That was a lot easier than I expected it to be. But if you look here, we are meeting resistance here at the high of $1.70, which I cannot believe I'm saying Cardano is $1.70. It is literally blowing my mind. You have no idea how excited I am, but I'm containing it as best as possible. So this is very exciting for me. So if you look here, we had a previous resistance of $1.75. We've had previous resistance of $1.63, $1.64, essentially, if we round up. But we ripped through that, and this is doing very well. So I want to go to something like an hourly chart, because the cool thing is this also trades 24 hours a day, which means we can get a little glimpse into the show as to how things are going, when things truly took off. So essentially, our massive bull run, it started here around July 21st, 2020. If we pull up Bitcoin here, just so we don't have to have a parallel chart, because it can get weird. If we look here, when was our big jump here? So July 21st, 2020. So it did start moving with Bitcoin. Credit to it, it did. But it didn't move at the levels that we wanted it to move. We wanted it to get back up to these levels. So it was hitting this $1.30 area. It came to this, essentially this Fibonacci level here, which is around $1.35. Hit that, rejected it, consolidated, went for it again, tried to break out, rejected the breakout, came down again. Whoops, that's Cardano call. That's actually the guys from Benzinga calling. They're like, stop talking about Cardano, but I pulled the plug on them. We're talking about Cardano. I'm just kidding. That wasn't them. I would definitely not do that. So we had another bounce. We had a breakout. What's funny here is this now became support. We tested it, bounced. We came here. We set another higher. We went higher, bounced, and now it ripped here. Kind of formed a bull flag here, and then we've just been going. It's been a massive, massive, massive move here for this stock, for not this stock, this coin, this altcoin. And it's been going, and we're at a high of 1.7. Right now it's trading at 1.67. The thing is just ripping. It is very interesting to see, very fun to watch. I had no idea, and I want to see where it goes next. These kind of candles do scare me a little bit when you're up 13% one day in an altcoin. Here's a parallel candle up. This is 22%. This is 14%. So this is what bothers me. I don't want it to do this again. Look at this. The last time it ripped the equivalent of this hard, it just went, meow. I don't want that again. I'd rather have tiny consolidation. So I do imagine we will come back and test the 1.55 area. Again, we'll probably cool off, bounce off here, maybe even come lower, then go back higher. You never want this thing to just go to the moon unless you're planning on selling it. So I'm a long-term holder of this, so I'd rather it take some time. Now, if it does moon, like stupidly high, I will probably sell it and then buy back in when it cools off. Because look, everything moons, comes down, and you can re-enter it. There's always more opportunities to re-enter it if it moons. So that's probably what I would do. But I'm liking this a lot. This is very interesting. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. I want to talk and take some of your stock questions. I want to take some of your stock questions. So I'm scrolling up. I saw a few people. One guy asked about gold. I remember that. GLD going into, I believe it was GLD. Yeah, he was asking about GLD going into this. I know gold has taken a massive hit recently. Look at this. Ugly, ugly, ugly drop. That's quite unfortunate. I know there's a lot of gold. People like gold. I like Bitcoin. But that was mean. That was a mean laugh. But I mean no malice to anyone. But this is a significant drop in gold. That's no joke. Like we can measure the drop. If we take it from here to here, it's about a 5% drop. That's big for gold. This is not an asset that moves a lot. You can clearly tell, like, this is a big candle, 1.69%. This is a massive drop that happened in gold, and that's quite unfortunate. It's back. Gold is an oversold territory. Last time we were in oversold territory was March 2021. Yeah, beginning of March 2021, we were in oversold. I want to see what happened during COVID. Didn't go into oversold, surprisingly, in 2020. Now, should you be scared of that? I don't know. I tend to become more worried if gold is running up. That's when I feel like people are like hoarding gold because they're like, the dollar's gonna fail. But someone knows something. Gold's an anti-inflationary asset, right? That's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be anti-inflation. It holds value, yada yada. Clearly not, but not much does. The only thing that we tend to see to hold value as a store of value is land. But this is clearly not doing what it needs to do. I don't know. I don't know how to comment on this. I don't know how to. Maybe it spikes right back up tomorrow if CPI data is up. But I haven't studied gold enough to be able to comment on this. So come at me with more stocks, please. I will more than happy to do them. I see PFE. PFE has been on a roll. I've been trading. I had PFE calls. Thanks to Larry. I played PFE calls, did very well. Sold a little bit early, but that's okay. I'd rather paper hand than diamond hand and have it go to zero. But let's take a look at this. Look, clearly, we don't need Fibonacci levels. We're at a high. I think we're at an all-time high with PFE or a 52-week high. Give me something at the month. No, we're not. Okay, so it was at 50. Wow, look at where we are now. This is nice. 50 is the all-time high for this stock, and we're not accounting for any dilution that's happened in the past or any money raises or new share issuance. $50 is the high. What is the high here? 49.25. Okay, so we have to use the monthly chart for this one. So I'm going to drop a line here at the top of this candle right here, whatever this high is, 49.25. So we're going to try our best. 49.25. Good enough. Go. Oh, perfect. Got it. Sweet. And then we're going to come back to, and by the way, this was back in the year 2000. So quite a few years ago. And if you look here, we hit a high of 87.57 today. So we want to try to capture that. 48.57, excuse me. 48.57. Boom, we captured that. So I'm going to make that line a little bit thicker. It's going to be a Thickums line. We're going to lock it. We're going to turn it orange. Cool. So we're going to go back in time now to see. Clearly, this is, can you believe it? This was a $1 stock in 2009. That's what happens, man. Some of these companies just come roaring back. You can see the resistance point is parallel to what was here in 2000. December of 2000 was the resistance point. This is kind of like when Pfizer peaked and declined, and now it's kind of regained everything back over time. I guess stocks do go back up if you hold them for 21 years. I don't know how many people want to do something like that, but it's doing its thing. Now, we are in a bit of uncharted territories right now. We're literally going back to the year 2000 to look at previous resistance levels with Pfizer. This is a stock that is ultimately bound right now to a third COVID shot. And what worries me a bit is if we go to like a weekly, I don't know when the COVID shot was approved. I do. That's a lie. It was right after the election cycle in 2020. It was like a week or two after, which is November, right here. So here, the COVID shot was approved, and then we had a sell-off. So it was a bit of a sell then use. You had a spike, you had a cool-off spike, and then you have a sell then use kind of situation here going into December. Now, these are weekly candles, so don't look at them as dailies. So take the whole week into account. So did very well on the news. So again, the news could come out, and the third COVID shot could be approved by the FDA, and we get another bump up. But right now, we've hit resistance at 48.50. Let's go back to a chart that's a little less intimidating to look at, which is a daily chart. The stock has been ripping up. That is no joke. Like we can see that here. The thing has just been like on a tear, like just doing its thing, killing it, just slaughterhouse. And with slopes like this, you have to cool off. Now, it's not a momentum play. It could be running in sympathy with Moderna because we know mRNA has also been running as well. Now, look, last time we discussed it, we were at the peak. We weren't even at 400. Now we're at almost 500 is where the stock went. This is ridiculous. It's running really based off of COVID fear and a third COVID shot. Pfizer is sympathying that one. Pfizer's, I think, has a much higher float, 5.6 bill float, so it moved with it. And mRNA has a float of, has to be a lower float. Yeah, much lower float, so it runs much harder. So I'm just trying to keep a look. Yeah, PFE is the hottest stock in the market. Yeah, PFE is getting a lot of love from retail right now. I totally agree with you. All right, we got 3 minutes. One more stock. Let's do Ross's stock. TLIS had earnings today. Cash per share is $13. Stock price is under 9. Low float and about 25% shorted. Can this short squeeze greatly? I don't play short squeeze plays because I don't like to depend on other people or like that kind of catalyst. But let's take a look at the chart. Let's see where it is. It's a bio stock. Bio stocks are expensive to operate. Bio companies are expensive to operate. So I'm imagining earnings weren't great. Yeah, they missed tremendously. So the stock took a hit. Can it short squeeze? You need people buying for something to short squeeze. You had support essentially here. You had like a nice little support line where it's kind of bouncing, and then it ripped through the support line. Now you're not it's not devastatingly down. It's only down 7%. What's the float? Yeah, come on. This is nothing. It's really nothing. It's an 11.5 million float, which means it could have dropped 50% on a dime. Like done. PFE never $2. They had a spin-off. Oh, okay, I see. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, that makes things a little bit clearer for me with PFE. But what I see here is a low float stock that's recovering in the after hours. You said your buy-in cost was 13, which is fairly high compared to where we are now, obviously. I don't know when you bought that. You bought in for 13. I'm assuming somewhere in this area. This is where a stop loss would have been very important. You could have definitely protected your capital with a stop loss. So going into that, you would have established a 1225 support in this area. Then you also have support at 1071. Either one of those, depending on what your risk tolerance is, you could have set it as a stop loss, and it, excuse me, it would have protected your capital. But that's okay. Now you have to play capital preservation right here. You have to play the capital preservation game. Is how do I preserve as much as my capital that remains, and either get out or hold through this. I don't know the company. I don't know bio stocks. I can't unfortunately help you with this one. I don't know much. No to the cash per share is 13. Oh, you bought in at 0. Okay, cool. Well, buddy, if you bought in somehow at 0, I think it's a typo. I think it's a typo. I'm gonna give it a second for him to reply. No, to the cash per share is 13. Okay. Oh, you bought it at $9. Okay, cool. So you're up now. Congratulations. You literally, I guess you added on this downtrend. Again, you have to study this company, you have to understand it perfectly, and then that way you'll be able to understand what's going on. DK, my pleasure, DK. I'm glad you liked it. So, folks, I do have to wind down. It is 6 p.m. It breaks my heart to leave you, but I do enjoy these. I'll be back Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support me and help me out, there's a few things you can do. First, hit the like button on the video. Second, subscribe if you like the network and like what we're doing here. We can do it for sure. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a new video on CPI that's out right now. You need to watch this to be prepared for tomorrow. It's very, very important and pertinent. Definitely check that out. Go to ryanstocks.com. It's linked in the description. If you want to learn technical analysis like I was doing now, but much more advanced with easy course videos that I've created for you, go to the Patreon and connect to our private Discord. We got trading videos on the psychology of trading, trading stocks and technical analysis, as well as weekly watch lists for stocks, options, and we're in there with you with a fantastic team to be able to help you grow as traders. Third, follow me on Twitter, Instagram if you'd like. And then if you want to sign up for Benzinga Pro for free, you can do that, get a 2-week trial. I get a nice little kickback. Then if you decide to sign up, use my promo code to get 30% off for life. It's literally the only promo code that's out there right now that will give you 30% off for life. go in there, promo code RyanR, and you can sign up and get this all. I see all your thanks in the comments. I want to thank you all for coming and watching, because without you, I'd be talking to myself and they'd call me crazy. So as always, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you so much for supporting. Make sure to stick around. We've got another program coming up right now. See you guys then. Have a great day or night. Bye-bye. Good luck to everyone who is trading. See you on Thursday. Peace.